Hi, Gina. Welcome to the Integrative Health Coach Success Podcast.
Hi, Julia. Thanks for having me. It's so nice to meet you and to chat with you.
Yes, same here. We're looking forward to getting into our kind of niche topic with you today, but I would love for us to kind of first start with what you're currently doing in the health and wellness space with your IHP certification. And then we'll back it up a little bit and we can talk about maybe how you got started, what you were doing before that, if it was something else.
Yeah, so I got my IHP certification last year, level 1. I'm working through level 2 right now. I see a handful of one-on-one clients, and I'm working on a hybrid group coaching / one-on-one program that'll be launching later this spring, early summer. So I'm really excited about that. It's been such a great way just to offer new content and new offerings to my readers and work with people in a different capacity. And I've really enjoyed it so far.
That's great. And so is this something that you were always doing? Were you always in the health, wellness, fitness space? Were you doing something before that?
Yeah, so I have a blog and it started back in 2008. It's a fitness and lifestyle blog. And basically, how I got into the wellness and fitness space was I grew up dancing. So I danced for 19 years. And I met my husband when I was in college. He's in the military. So we moved away from the dance studio. So I wasn't dancing or teaching anymore. And I found group fitness and fell in love with it. Started taking classes. I eventually became certified as a personal trainer. So I basically got into it through the fitness realm and started to become more interested in overall wellness and more functional medicine when I went off birth control when we were trying to have our first daughter, because my hormones were completely out of whack. I went to see my doctor who prescribed me Clomid to force me to ovulate. And it was like a light bulb went off. And I was like, well, why am I not ovulating on my own? So I started to learn more, did some digging. I met an incredible naturopath who helped rebalance my hormones. And now we have our 2 daughters. They're 11 and 7. So that's pretty much how I got into this industry and how the blog started. Everything is kind of stemmed from the blog. It's this big umbrella with all these different pieces, but that's how it all began.
That's great. Yeah. And so many of my guests, so many IHPs, we all have these personal stories, right? Where we experience like, wait a minute, there's got to be something, deeper going on or something more than just, the allopathic medicine model to uncover why something isn't working the way it's supposed to. And I believe that those stories always help us kind of relate to our clients better. So, yeah. Do you find that you work with women and you're able to kind of bring some of that cycle expertise to what they might be experiencing, whether it be hormonally or weight loss, concerns, so on and so forth?
Yes, absolutely. And I feel like with so many women, they're just missing a lot of the foundations because they're so busy. So they're under eating or skipping meals. Over exercising is a really common one. And I've been there in all of those situations. So it's just another way that I can relate to them because I know what it feels like. And I love food. And I never thought I would be the type of person to skip a meal until we had kids. So now I'm like, I totally get it. So let's brainstorm some strategies so you're not skipping meals and that you have staples on hand to support your hormones.
Yeah, absolutely. I always, before my husband and I had kids, I would think like, oh God, fast food and pizza, like people that I knew that were doing that every single night. I'm like, it's not that hard to like have meals prepared. Now I have 3 kids and I'm like, oh, I totally get why, like, it's like, hi, can I order a large cheese pizza? Or like why people can fall into those patterns because it's just one, you're tired at the end of the day or things aren't prepared and it's going to take too long and kids are hungry and cranky and you're hungry and cranky, right? But it's all about like having these systems in place to be prepared and to have some sort of, routine and normalcy to kind of what you're putting on the table and what you're preparing. And having support from a coach to do that well is important.
Yes, absolutely. Just having someone to help you brainstorm, I think is so powerful because it's easy to forget things. Like even when we brainstorm protein sources, I'm like, okay, let's write down a list of your favorite proteins. And they'll remember some that they hadn't had in a long time just because they've been eating mostly chicken because it's the first thing that comes to mind and it's easy. They're like, wait, I love salmon. I love beef. I like sardines. I like anchovies. So it's helping them just kind of remember the things that they used to use, but may have forgotten over time.
Yeah, absolutely. And with moms or women, especially that like mental load of just like being able to let somebody else take that on for a minute. And like you said, help brainstorm and use somebody else's brain power is, I think, super
Yes.
helpful.
Yes, 100%.
All right. So what I would love to kind of dive into a little bit here is what your take is on affiliate links, the ability to kind of use affiliate links as a revenue stream, and a little bit of your take on that. You do have a considerable following on social media. And I think a lot of our listeners, whether they're just starting pages or maybe have a significant following, they may not be using affiliate links to maybe their best of their ability as far as what they could be doing. So I would love for you to share a little bit of your tips, tricks, whatever that might be.
Yes, absolutely. So I feel like it's such a low hanging fruit, especially right now. If you are in this industry, affiliate links, if you're not using them, I cannot recommend it enough. If you think about it throughout the day, we're constantly recommending things to other people. So I'll see my friend. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love your shoes. She's like, yeah, I got them here. This is how much they cost. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I order the shoes. And you wouldn't think twice about it. But what would it be like if she could make $5 to $10 off of the shoe purchase I was going to make anyway? So we're constantly recommending things to each other. And especially if you're working with clients, it's just such a natural and easy thing to do because they want to know what products you recommend and which products you use personally. So you recommend a water filtration system. Which one do you use? Oh, I use this one. Okay, I'm going to order that one too. So if you had an affiliate link, you'd be able to earn a small kickback from that. And it's just a really easy thing to do. And you don't need to have a huge audience to benefit from doing affiliate marketing. I would just sit down and make a list of your favorite products, the products that you use every single day, the ones that you're constantly recommending to clients or to friends, and make a list and then just go to their website and you will find a place that says affiliates or partner. Click it. You can apply from there. A lot of them do not have a minimum audience requirement because it's a win-win situation for the company. Does not cost them any money. They're getting access to a new market that they might not be able to access through paid traffic or someone that might not find them anyway. So it's win-win for the company, and you're able to make anywhere from a few dollars to a few $100s to $1,000 based on what the product is. And I think it's been really amazing over the past handful of years as well, because this industry has changed so much. So when I first started my blog, it was all ad revenue. So I was paid purely off of clicks and page views. And then they changed it to a rev share model. We're like, okay, this is different. And my ad revenue tanked. So things are always falling and rising, but affiliates are something that you can consistently just push out there and know that they're going to accumulate over time. And I always tell people too that with affiliates, think of it like just leaving out breadcrumbs. So someone might not buy something the first time you share it, but you're raising awareness and they're going to remember it. So if there's like a skincare product that you recommend, they're like, oh, I just ran out of face wash and I saw Julia recommend her favorite face wash. So now I'm going to order it and use her link and her code. So I think just being consistent is really huge with affiliates. But as far as income potential goes, you can make over 6 figures just in affiliate sales. And you don't have to create anything, which I think is so amazing too, because you didn't create the product. You're just spreading the word.
Yeah, absolutely. And we all are innate, need to want to help, or our innate, the goal is to kind of reach people, help them better their lives with the information that we already have. And like you said, it's kind of this win-win. We're helping the client. The business is kind of getting their access to a new audience. The client's getting the recommendation that we need, that they need, and we're getting a little bit of just a kickback based on being the one that's bringing them the information. And I think too, a lot of people, they end up trusting somebody on whether it be social media or, podcasts. We find people that we trust and we resonate with, and then we automatically kind of trust whatever they're using or whatever they're recommending. We know that they have a certain, toxicity standpoint on things, or, they like certain products to be free of this or that. And so you find what resonates with you, and then you're able to kind of be the trusted source for other people that are following you or listening to you. Now, you said something that I think is interesting, because a lot of our listeners might think that you do have to have a large following to benefit from affiliate links. So what's your experience with that? Did you, when you had less of a following, were you able to kind of benefit from that as well?
Yes. And I think it's just comes back to the trust factor, like you mentioned, just knowing that someone else put in the research. We're all on a time crunch. So if I can ask someone and I know that I trust their recommendations, I'm just going to take whatever they tell me to get because I know that they spent the time researching it. So same kind of thing. And I work with Beauty Counter, and I know that you guys are familiar with Beauty Counter as well. But one of the gals on my team who's extremely successful doesn't use social media at all. So she has no social media following, and it's all about the person to person contact. So just real face to face contact. And she's able to do extremely well just with that.
Yes. Yeah. And I think when it's truly authentically something that you love and something that you use, it comes across as not being salesy and simply like, I love this and you probably would love it too. And I like want you to like love your makeup, or I want you to love your skin as much as I do. Right. And so I think that all comes into play too, right? Versus like trying to push something that maybe you don't use because they have a, larger percentage kickback or something of that nature. Right. That is a huge testament to not even having social media, because then you're just making connections one-on-one with people in your everyday life.
Yeah. And just like you said, just sharing products that you genuinely love. And people can feel that too. I worked with a business coach and she told me, you need to sell your own products the same way you sell affiliate products. Like you need to have the same excitement and passion for them, because that's how it should be. It should be the things that you love and use all the time. And your audience will feel that. They'll be able to tell that you're being authentic, and that if you're using it all the time, maybe they want to give it a try as well.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I recently, people always ask me like what shampoo I use. I even have like men, which is actually crazy. I just got a message from a guy that was like, oh my God, I tried that shampoo and I love it. And my sister said to me, she's like, why don't you have an affiliate link with them? Like literally all you do in your DMs all the time is just give people the name of the shampoo and you should get an affiliate code. And I'm like, that's true. And I feel like sometimes like we're on autopilot, that like we don't actually think, to do this, but it is, like you said at the beginning, it's such a simple thing that can be done, and you're making some sort of a revenue stream by just doing what you're going to do anyway, which is helping people. Like I always tell people, like I always answer the question, why not have an affiliate link connected to it to, make my time somewhat, compensatable.
Yes. What shampoo is it? You do have amazing hair.
I always tell people that it's genetic. So like the shampoo is not magic.
Yes.
Genetically speaking, I've been blessed, but I use Under Luna.
Okay.
Their warrior shampoo specifically, like I will suggest for people who have like dry or itchy scalp. Now there's obviously lots of root causes for that, but if somebody has like an irritated, more so in the winter, their warrior shampoo, like I absolutely love. It's just super soothing for the scalp. Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
I love it. And if I had an affiliate link, I would give it to you, but I don't.
Yes. What's your discount code? Yes.
I'm working on it.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay. And so if so you mentioned a little bit about, so if somebody was like, well, how the heck do I even do this? There's websites, right? You go to the website, they have links, or it usually says affiliate, or like you said, partner with us or something like that. And then there's typically like an email, intake of some sort where they like ask you questions like, what industry are you in? How many followers do you have? So on and so forth. Do you find that that's pretty standard with most companies?
Yes, I do. And they make it very easy. Some of them have their own platforms. You'll get a login, you'll get your specific discount code or your tracking link that you'll use, and you'll put that anywhere that you would like to use it. So if you have a website with a resources page, that's a really great way to do that. That's a really good email freebie too, is my favorite healthy living resources, and just have a list of your favorite products, and they can all be affiliate links. And that's something that someone can download for free, You can post it on your website, in your link in bio. You can share in Instagram stories whenever you're using it. And a lot of these too, I would just clarify with the company, but a lot of them will track it based just on your discount code. So you don't necessarily have to use the tracking link. I can't remember if Instagram changed it where you have to have 10,000 followers and up to link in stories, because I had heard they were changing it. I didn't know if they did.
I think they did. Yeah.
Okay. So you can link in your Instagram stories and then use your discount code just wherever you can share it. Link in bio is a great place too, or highlights. If you use highlights on Instagram stories, that's another good place to share it.
Yep. Yeah, that's a great point. And as far as if people have blogs, do you find that blogs are a good place as well?
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
blogs are an excellent place just because of the search engine optimization. So if you can optimize for a certain topic, so if you are writing about a water filter, why you should filter your water, or pros and cons of filtering your water, and you write this whole post about it, because that's something that people are going to Google, and then they'll find your affiliate link within the post, and that post is going to live forever, unlike Instagram stories, which disappear or a lot of people don't see them. You can reach new people because they will be Googling that post. So yes, I think blogs are a great place to do it, especially if you can do a video associated with your blog post, a short video going over the water filter, how to set it up, how it works, pros, cons, how do you replace the filters, and just do a little how-to video and put it in your blog post. I think that's a really great way to do it.
Yeah, yeah, such great pointers. Now, you mentioned at first that you kind of got started with your blog. That was like the first thing that you did as far as a bit from a business perspective. Would you share a little bit kind of about what, because I, for one, and maybe there's others listening that are kind of the same way, don't necessarily fully understand how you get revenue stream from blogging. But would you share a little bit about that with our listeners?
Yes, of course. So ad revenue is the main one. It's just very passive, very easy. And as you continue to grow, your revenue will grow. So that's been really nice. So ad revenue, you can do partnerships with brands. So often they'll want to do a sponsored post on your blog. Usually it comes with social amplification. So maybe some Instagram stories or a reel or a feed post. Most companies I notice now are not as interested in Facebook and Pinterest optimization. So they mostly just want Instagram and the blog post. Podcasting is another great place to partner with different brands. And then from there, you can also do your affiliate income, and then any product sales that you have, any coaching offers, you can also include that in your blog, because people will click your about page. They'll want to learn more about you, how to work with you. So it's just a really nice landing page for everyone to go to and see everything that you offer.
Yeah, yeah, all great information. Now, when you were first starting out, whether it was with the blog, whether it was, with your Instagram, or were there anything that you kind of came across as far as challenges were concerned for getting kind of from A to B, or was it kind of pretty seamless?
I think I just had to learn as I went. It was one of these things I just jumped into. I tell this story, but it's kind of a funny story. But my husband asked me to find a hobby that didn't cost money, because we had moved to a small town in Georgia and I didn't have any friends yet. And I was just online shopping. So boxes would just appear on the doorstep. And he's like, please do anything else besides online shopping. And I was like, okay, I'm going to start a blog, because I had just started reading blogs. I was like, I could do this. I'm just starting to get interested in fitness and health. I can share some information with my personal training clients. So I started the blog, and it was just a really nice way to find connection where I felt like I didn't have a lot of connection because I hadn't met really anyone yet. I was able to access this whole world where all of these other people were like, ooh, we like quinoa too. We like hot yoga too. And I was like, yes, you guys are my people. So I could connect with a new group of people, and it grew steadily. But one of my friends reached out to me about 6 months later, and she's like, why don't you have ads on your blog? I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, you need to put ads on your blog. And I didn't even know that was a thing. So learning about that was interesting, because I put the ads on, and the next month I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea this could even make money. It was never my intention when I first started it. So the ads was a huge one, but two things that I wish I would have done sooner. The first one is having an email newsletter. I waited so long to get this set up, and I regret it, because it's just such an easy way to access your people, the people that want to hear from you, and you own your email newsletter forever. So social platforms come and go. Instagram could disappear tomorrow and you would have no way to reach these people. So you have your list of people who opted in and said they do want to hear from you. You can reach them whenever you want to notify them about products you're offering, or it's a great way to share value with your audience. You can give them extra videos or information or handouts, just little gifts that you can give to your newsletter friends. So I waited way too long to set up my newsletter. And another thing I did too is I fought new social platforms. So when Instagram first came out, I was like, I don't really want to do this. And I was kind of watching my brother, who's younger, and his girlfriend on Instagram. And then a couple of years later, I finally started my profile and it was private. You had to request me. So I just regret doing things like that. Like same thing with Snapchat. I waited forever. Same thing with TikTok. I waited forever. I just recently got onto TikTok and I still don't really know what I'm doing. So that's one of the tips I give most people is if you see a new social platform start to gain traction, just get on there. Even if you're just a consumer of the platform, if you're not actively posting it, just to see how it works and what people are doing. I think that's just a smart thing to do because it could take off and you could be one of the first people that were on the platform.
Yeah, such great advice. And it just goes back to kind of like doing it, right? I've had guests on the past who've kind of coined the term take messy action. And just if it, even though like you don't know necessarily, well, I'm not really sure what this platform it could do for, myself, my business, my clients who I'm reaching, like you said, just kind of getting involved and seeing and not kind of taking a backseat to it can be incredibly helpful because then you're at least just doing something rather than not doing anything at all.
Yes, I love that. Take messy action. I always say that done is better than perfect. Just do it. And you can work on perfecting it later. And I feel like that's been my whole online career is just doing things and seeing what happens and tweaking it as I go. But the best way to learn is to actually do it. So I was like, I'm going to start a podcast. I've got to figure this out. So I need to figure out what mic I need to use. I need to watch YouTube tutorials and you will learn how to do it, but you just have to just convince yourself to take action.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And the truth is we want our clients to do the same with what we're coaching them, right? We don't want them to, wait until they can eat perfectly to do it. We don't want them to wait until they can work out like a, professional bodybuilder until they actually do it, right? We want them to take messy action too. And so if we're taking messy action in our professional life and just showing up because people really need to hear the messages that we all have to share, we're kind of being that model of done, not perfect in a sense.
Yes, 100%. And I'll say that to clients too, because they'll tell me about all the events they have coming up with their kids, or we're heading into vacation or break, or it's the holidays. I'm like, yes, this is real life. So let's work together during real life because it will never, if you wait for the quote, like perfect time or when everything is calm, it's not going to happen, especially if you have kids. I feel like there's just always something going on. So you have to just go for it.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I recently just had a client say to me, she said, oh my gosh, she said, I can't wait until ski season is done because I've been on like a beer and French fry diet every day after we're done skiing on the weekends. She said, so I'm going to totally reset once ski season is done. I said, I know, but then it's going to be margarita and lobster roll season. And I was half joking, but half serious. I'm like, you're just going to have another excuse for the things that you love when the weather warms up.
Yes, 100%. And then it's into the holidays and all of that too. So yes, there's always going to be something.
Yep. And we can, optimize those weeks, maybe a month where things are a little bit more controlled and we have a bit more, accessibility to all of the things that we want. And there's a calmer schedule, but that's not 12 months out of the year. The majority of the time is busy. Like you said, especially if there's kids involved and you need to just learn to roll with it and make the best choices for whatever your goals are aligned with.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm curious, do you have so it sounds like you at one point had a business coach or you had some stuff along the way that you were looking into. Do you feel like the best way for people to get a little bit more in depth with whether it be affiliate links or doing things like blogs or podcasting is to have a mentor? Are you like a big reader? Do you feel like people should just read about this stuff and figure it out from there? Do you have like any books or, podcasts that you find to be helpful from like a business standpoint?
Yeah, I think that all of the things can be valuable. So there's so many great podcasts and YouTube videos. I really like Amy Porterfield's podcast. She has really great tips for email marketing. So if that's something that you're interested in, I think that's if you have a freebie or an opt-in, just making sure that your email marketing is solid. So having a welcome sequence in place. Some of the platforms are so incredible and like user friendly, and I love the targeting that they can do now too. So you can target different people based on what they click in your newsletter. So if they click one of my products, but they don't buy, they get subscribed to a different email sequence saying like, hey, I noticed that you were interested in Fit Team. I just wanted to answer some of your questions. So you can send them somewhere totally different based on their actions in your email. So I love Amy Porterfield. I'm reading a book right now. It's called $100 Million Offers. And I can't remember the author of the book, but it's so good and so much helpful info. But I think that something that can be really impactful for your business is just getting crystal clear on your ideal customer avatar. So these are the specific people that you want to service, because the more general you are, the less attached people are going to be to your product. So it's much harder to cast this like super wide net out there and hope that you get a few people than saying, these are my specific people and they will be drawn to you. So I'm in a little mastermind group, and we just got together a couple of weeks ago and we went through one by one and we talked about our ideal customer avatar, their name, their age, their occupation, what color nail polish they wear, how many kids they have, what their kids' names are, what their daily life is like, where they shop, what brands they wear, like what they like to do on the weekends. We went through the entire thing. And I think it's just so helpful, because then when you write your content or your posts or create your products, you know exactly who they are designed for. And I think it's really tempting to want to design it for yourself, but I'm not my ideal customer avatar. I used to be, but I'm not anymore. So just being really specific on that can be really helpful. Atomic Habits is one of my all-time favorite books. If you haven't read it, it's basically just about adopting the habits of the person that you want to become and how to stack those habits into your day. What are some other good ones? I feel like I've read so many and I get great tips from all of them. So yes, check out podcasts, check out books, and just look and see what you can find. I really like Marie Forleo too. I've learned a lot from her over the years. Jenna Kutcher is another great one. She has a really good podcast. But yeah, those are some of my top faves.
Yeah, those are all great suggestions. Thanks. Those are all great. Is your husband glad that he told you to get a new hobby other than online shopping?
Yes. So funny, because we both had no idea what this was going to be, but he was glad that I took a break from my online spending blitz. So yes, it's worked out well. And I've been very thankful, because one of the biggest blessings has been that I've been able to be home with the kids. So even though I do work a lot, and I think that balancing the workload has been challenging too, because he's gone often. So I'm solo parenting a lot, but that's been one of the greatest things, is that I can work when I need to work and I can do it from home, so I can be here with the kids too.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's, I always say I love being connected, being able to like work with my people. I have very close acquaintances, family members that are my people, that do the things that I do, believe in the things that I believe in. Right. But it's not like I have 20 people. So my clients become like that source of connection and community for me, or, people on social media. And it's so nice to be able to feel like you have like this other place where you can connect and kind of like be you, and everybody's kind of like, yeah, us too, type of a
Yes.
thing.
Yes. It's been so amazing just to be able to meet and connect with people you would never meet otherwise. And I feel like in this industry, so many of us see each other as colleagues, and we want to help each other and teach each other and learn from each other. And that's been such a positive environment to be in.
Yes. Yeah. I couldn't agree more. If people are listening and they want to kind of find out more about you, where are all the places that you show up? I know you have a one-on-one mentorship program, and obviously Instagram. Where are all the places that people can find you?
Yeah. So my main hub is my blog. It's fitnessista.com. So just fitnessista.com. Cabral.com. And that's where I post pretty much daily. I'll share my podcast episodes there. My podcast is called Healthy in Real Life. And you can also find me on Instagram. It's at Fitnessista. Send me a DM. I would love to chat. I love connecting with people on Instagram. So I answer all of my own DMs. So yes, those are the best places to find me.
That's great. Thank you so much for being a guest on the Integrative Health Coach Success Podcast. This was such a great and informative interview. I appreciate everything that you shared with us.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. We'll talk soon. Thanks, Gina.
Thank you. Bye.